Hello and welcome to the Ladies' Room. It is my great pleasure today to have the best of the best, Walker Vreeland,
Thank you.
host of WBAZ's afternoon show. And you are the best of the best.
Oh.
You are so much fun.
Why, thank you, Judy.
The show is on every day from 2 to 6. And with Walker is his co-host for the Daily Dirty, which is the little spots every day where Amy Cerullo and Walker get down and dirty, and they talk about celebrities. And God, we have enough of them out here, don't we?
Too many.
It's a plethora.
Yeah.
And now the Kardashians are coming this summer. What do you think of that?
Oh.
Can't believe I'm starting the show talking about the Kardashians.
I know.
The people we least like talking about.
We're gonna jump right
There
in,
you
aren't
go.
we?
Speak for yourself.
We're gonna jump right. It's so. First of all, it is so good to be back in the ladies' room.
Oh, thank you.
It's feeling very scandalous already.
Uh-oh.
No, but the Kardashians. We both have very strong opinions about the Kardashians. She's very for. I'm very anti-Kardashian.
Oh, interesting. I'm in the middle.
Are you?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
By
I'm
the end of
working
the
on
show,
it.
I'll have you on my side.
So tell me about your anti-Kardashian feelings. That they're no talent.
You know,
and
it's
they,
not so much the Kardashians specifically. I think it's just reality shows in general, reality television in general, because I feel like it just perpetuates this, I don't know, this trend in this country of being famous for being famous for
doing a
not
sex
really,
tape,
yeah,
doing something scandalous.
for being naked, for doing
Yeah.
something crazy or scandalous, and not really contributing
Now just
artistically.
even,
But I'm very
popping
old
up in a
school.
selfie now.
I mean,
you can get famous.
I'm kind of a snob when it comes to. I mean, I admit it. You know, I'm kind of old school, a little bit, almost conservative in that sense. And I think
Yeah.
it's because I used to be an actor, and so I probably take myself a little bit too seriously sometimes. But it's not that I think that they're stupid or that they don't have talent. I think they're probably very smart, and they know a lot about business and branding. Yeah, so it's not that. It's not that I think that.
They've learned a lot about it.
Although there
certainly
certainly are
over
a lot.
years.
Yeah.
They've learned. I don't know how much those girls knew in the beginning, but that mom knew she wanted to.
Yeah.
She married Bruce Jenner, and she wanted to stay in the spotlight.
I mean, they're strong personalities. Yeah. They're all such strong, and it takes a strong personality to be successful.
Yeah,
I think.
it does. It does.
And it's not. I'm not saying that all reality TV stars are smart, but I'm not saying that they're stupid either. I'm just saying that I don't care. That's how I feel.
Too
Amy
much
feels
reality TV. I think that you're right as far as a person that wants to be famous has to be very self-centered. Now, all they do is think about themselves.
And on some level, I have a lot of respect for people who are willing to sacrifice all other areas of their lives, and they know that they have to do what it takes. They know what it takes, and they do what it takes. And on some level, I kind of respect that. In the same way that I used to respect people who, artists or actors or musicians, who were willing to really sacrifice everything else, relationship, family, for the career. I sort of, a part of me wishes that I could be more like that. It's just not me.
And how do you feel about them?
I'm all for the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I see absolutely no problem with them coming to the Hamptons. I think it's going to bring life and new people and new
traffic.
New traffic. But we don't boycott when these other trashy celebrities come out here and cause fistfights in our bars and our clubs.
That's true. That's a good point.
And they come out and they're doing drugs in our town. And the Kardashians aren't known for partying and drugs. They're mothers. They're entrepreneurs. Some would beg to differ, but they do live a simple, classy life if you watch their show.
Khloe doesn't have a baby.
Khloe doesn't, but Kourtney and Kim do have children, and one who parents exactly like me for a Kardashian.
Parents exactly like you?
We just realized that Kourtney and I are similar parenting. She does attachment parenting.
Yes.
And what is
and all
attachment
organic
parenting? You have 2 children?
I have 2 children, which I actually raised much like she did. You breastfeed, you're not
I did that.
bottling, you're making most of your food for your children, you live organically, you're not feeding your children mac and cheese, that sort of thing. And when it comes to separation from your children, you're not forcing it. You do something that works more comfortably for you and your children versus doing what the book says.
It's a whole new philosophy. I think it has a lot of validity.
Well,
it's old.
All the European and Latin
Is
countries do it.
Yeah.
The kids
I guess
all
it's
sleep
new
in the bed.
It's new to America.
You just nurse on demand. I never got up and made a bottle, ever.
I
Not
never
once.
did once
She
either.
never had a
Amen.
bottle.
I get a high high-five you on that one.
Well, let me
That
just
is
say
awesome.
that I was not breastfed, which, as we say on the show, is the
there's a
reason that I'm
problem right
gay.
now.
You can all points back to the lack of breast in my life and in my mouth when I was an infant.
It's a possibility.
You know?
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have it any other way. Right?
You're having a great time.
Exactly.
You're very
I'm happy.
talented.
The formula was just
Very
fine
talented.
for me.
You know, it's funny how like somebody will become famous and then people will think they're an overnight success. And in the old days, you went to acting classes, you were a waiter or a waitress, and you did bit parts, and you did things for like
You learned a
15
skill.
or 20 years, and then suddenly you got a big part, and people said you were an overnight success.
Right.
When you've been working at it for 20
Right.
years.
So funny. I was
now
just
there
saying
really
that
are
yesterday.
overnight successes.
There really
They
are.
pop up in a selfie, and they're suddenly famous.
It's
What's
true.
up with that?
Or
And
they're
that's-
singing on YouTube.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah.
You're absolutely
And
right.
YouTube.
I was just having this conversation yesterday with my mom about someone like Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. You know, he has this incredible success with the show Breaking Bad, and then everyone says, oh, well, Bryan Cranston, where has he been? Well, he's been acting for 25, 30 years, but sometimes you don't have
overnight
you don't have
success.
huge success until you're 50, sometimes 60, sometimes
Maybe
later.
70.
It gives me, I think it gives us all hope, you know. It gives me hope that sometimes it takes years and years. It can take a lifetime of work before you can receive any kind of public acclaim.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you
so
got best of the best. I mean,
Well,
I think that
yes.
everybody out here really loves your show.
thank you.
So,
Thank you.
what made the Daily Dirty start? How did you guys
Actually,
come up with?
my idea.
Well, the name of the show she came up with,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, from my end of things, I came to realize, and I think it's just all a process. You just learn about yourself and who you are as a personality, just from experience, years of experience. And I came to the realization about a year ago that I'm much better when I have somebody to play with, when there's someone there to play
Bounce
off of and react
We
off
are
of.
very funny together.
Thank
I'm
you.
always
Thanks.
laughing when I hear you.
Well, we have
We
a
have a
really
lot
good
of
time.
fun.
We have a lot of fun, and hopefully that translates. I know that I always know that if we're having a good time, most likely the listener's having a good time too.
Yeah,
But
and it's
I mean,
sometimes you get pretty outrageous. You're
oh,
very funny.
definitely,
Definitely.
We
And
do.
you almost always disagree about things.
Yeah.
Almost, and it's,
I'm not
you know, it's true
surprised
in our
about-
friendship as well.
Yeah.
Even off,
That's
you know,
right.
off the
it's
mic,
true.
I
Off
guess.
on the air
We
and
are
off.
really, we're very similar, but we disagree on so
We
much.
do. We're very well. We are very similar, but we're also very, very different.
and very strong in our views, which
Yeah.
I think is where the excitement of the show comes in.
Yes,
because
we're both very opinionated people. We have strong
it
points
would
of
be
view.
very funny because you're Gemini and you're Sagittarius, and it's opposite. And my
Right.
mother and I was Gemini, she was Sagittarius, opposites, but same energy.
That's
But
us.
flipped over, like
Well,
crazy.
it
We're
creates
sort of
this
that way.
fireworks
Yeah, it does.
sometimes, and
it does.
that's what
but,
makes it
but,
fun.
But you're like this, but then when you get it, it's the whole
Right,
thing.
and we're able
Yeah.
to either reconcile our views and come to some kind of understanding or agreement, or not, and we just say, okay, well, we agree to disagree.
There are
It's
days.
a fully rounded subject.
It sort of is, but there are days that I will come in to record, and he will have been dead set. He'll prepare what he thinks are the stories for the day.
Yeah.
And he'll be dead set on this one view that really is going to be his, this is how I feel. And this is what it is. And I'll say, really? How about A, B, C, D? And he'll
Right.
say,
And meanwhile, you're completely blindsided. You don't even know.
You
where
know.
the
no
story's
idea. And then-
Another thing that happens is that not only will she offer me a totally opposite or different point of view that maybe I wasn't expecting her to have, but she'll also say, that is a terrible idea. We should not do that story. And that's really good for me to
right.
hear because,
Yeah.
you know, I've spent so
Yeah.
much time working alone that you lose perspective, you lose objectivity, and that is great for someone like me because I'm always great when I'm given direction. Even though she's not giving me direction per se, she's giving me something.
insight
yeah.
more so. Like, I don't think
She's
anyone really cares. Does anyone really care
Exactly.
about?
And it's a
He'll
good.
come in
it's-
with some crazy story. I'm like, Walker, what?
Right.
Nobody
Well,
cares
how
about her.
do you come up with your stories? Off
Well,
from the
yeah,
internet?
yeah.
From the...
It's a great question. First of all, I just want to say that it is so much fun to have. to have a radio show and be allowed to talk about absolute trash, garbage, nothingness, meaningless. Now, I'm not saying that
And
all of
nothing's
it.
out of bounds? Did they ever
Very rarely.
Did they ever have to bleep you?
I mean, I'm not.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, that's another story.
I don't think we
all
ever
the
get
time.
bleeped.
The lines that we definitely cross lines, but that's sort of a whole other story. But it is really fun to be able to have the freedom to talk about really irrelevant stuff. Now, I'm not saying, again, it's not all irrelevant. There are moments, there are moments of intelligent conversation and discussion.
Oh, yeah, and I think it's good for teenagers to hear your show, too, because you always have this rational opinion about, like,
She's a
the
little more
crazy
conservative. She's a little more conservative than I am.
Yeah.
Could you write that down?
Yes, definitely. I kind of
Hold up,
think
rational.
I don't know how you think about it, Amy, but I think about it kind of in two parts. That on one hand, I think we try to talk about the issues that matter to our listeners, whether that means being a working mom, entering into a new relationship, getting through the holidays without killing a family member and then turning the gun on yourself. I mean, whatever it is. We want to reflect what's going on in the lives of our listeners.
Is that kind of how you want to impact your readers?
Our listeners?
What is that?
Yes, but on the other hand, the flip side of it is at the same time, we are also trying to talk about what people are really talking about. What are people gossiping about? We want to get a sense of what are people
And
gossiping
why?
about.
Almost tear it apart and
Yeah,
break it down
psychologically.
and rationalize it.
That's right.
So to
because
speak.
because
Why
I
are people interested in
I
this?
think so
And
much
why
of
day after day after day the same story?
Why is it so
Right.
important?
Right.
What is it about this situation?
why do some
It's like
stories
an
stick?
addiction.
Yeah.
Like an addiction.
Why does some
but there's always a little twist in there, in my opinion. There's always something underlying there that we can find the
Definitely.
reason to.
Well, we can get to the root of the issue.
The root of the issue.
Yeah.
And
What was your
And-
favorite issue that you ever got to the root of?
Oh gosh.
Or the
I'm
fun?
going to just have to say,
Okay, go ahead.
on last week's show, the argument we had over James Franco doing a selfie in
Right.
a towel.
Okay.
And
In a
he
towel?
argued he wasn't on drugs, and he said, you can't keep saying that. You
Well,
think
that's
everyone's
because I think she thinks everyone's on drugs,
don't.
Well, and they very well might
A
be.
lot of the
When you're
celebrities party a
posting,
lot.
I just
they
didn't
do.
think that
and
was
when
the
you're
story.
posting a selfie at 45 in a towel with your hand down your pants,
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I gotta say,
didn't see
there's
it?
an extracurricular
You're
or
not
some
missing
sort
much.
of a substance going on there
Right.
because nobody does that
No, I
just
get,
on their own.
I get that, and she
Yeah.
sort of brought me over to her point of view. But I mean, I think this is kind of one of the ways that tabloid journalism works. It appeals to our baser senses or our baser desires. This voyeurism, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah.
This desire to peek into other people's lives. And I think some of us maybe don't want to admit that we want to know more about celebrities or know more about these stories, but I think we do. And again, they are
Well, it's entertainment.
they're meaningless. They don't have any bearing on our lives. But we talk about the stories anyway because I think it's fun and it's funny. It's funny.
fun,
Like you said,
fun,
it's entertainment.
It is.
And it kind of makes us feel. Kind of a part of it and in with
Right,
it.
right.
And yet we don't have to do it.
Right.
And
And
it's
especially if
true.
we're older,
Yeah.
it's like been there, done that.
Right.
Like, aren't they now? Like, isn't it coming out now that Miley Cyrus, like, she had an allergic reaction, but meanwhile she wound up in the hospital
she
for
doesn't
9
buy
days.
it. Amy doesn't buy
she's
it.
doing drugs.
But
she's
it's
partying.
so funny the
She's
way
partying
he
so hard.
will sometimes really buy into these
Oh,
stories
she
and
was
I know.
say,
I'm
partying
very
so
very
hard.
gullible.
and
I
I'm
mean,
like, are
No,
you kidding
no.
me?
I want to believe.
Exhaustion.
I want to
Like, what?
believe in
I know.
someone's highest good, in someone's best.
Really does have
She
that.
is peak partying age.
She is peak party
Totally.
age, and that
Yeah.
girl can party. She put a club in her house,
Did she?
all to keep the party going so that the police couldn't come. She has a nightclub in her house.
Yeah.
Where do you think that song came from?
We have to go to it.
Yeah.
We invited to it.
Oh my God.
How
what is
can we
the
get
name?
Yeah, so
invited?
how can we get into that club?
And we can't stop.
Oh, the
Yeah.
not the party in the USA.
No, the
We
recent
Can't
one, the
Stop.
newest
Oh,
one.
right,
yeah.
right. We can't.
Yeah,
It's
nobody
ridiculous.
can stop me.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
ever
something
see
come
the
party with
video, the YouTube video that's a spoof of her video of We Can't Stop
No.
with teddy bears and everything? These girls, almost like the day after that video came out, these girls on YouTube did a spoof
I love
of
it.
that video with the teddy bear, and it is hysterical.
Well, now I have to see
love
both.
it.
I have to
You've
see the
gotta
original
see it.
video and then the spoof.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Very
I
funny.
mean, to get.
Such clever stuff goes on YouTube.
I know.
now.
Well, it's just
unbelievable.
like
Unbelievable.
never a dull moment.
spawning a whole new kind of star.
Totally.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, you could trip over your husband in like the morning, and by
it could
that
be
afternoon,
viral.
it's like something totally
Yeah.
off that you weren't expecting.
Famous.
And it goes,
Right.
it's viral.
And you can get
it's,
charged with murder.
Yes.
Attempted murder.
and that's true too.
I love it.
And in my case, it would probably be true.
Oh my God. Well, preaching to the choir, Judy. I mean, again, like just to get back to your question, it's fluff and it's not fluff. We try to talk about what's meaningful and what's meaningless and try to find a balance somewhere, you know? So it's fluff one moment, and then the next moment we're having a deep, intense discussion about race or gender or sexuality or addiction or mental illness.
True. Or you interview so many people for your interview with an artist. So in my opinion, you bring that bit of sort of seriousness, is that a word, to the show when you, because he does bring up his interviews and the stars he interviews.
Right.
It's a serious, you know, it's normally not a.
Yeah.
It's not a joke the way
and
our
we
show
also
is.
Well,
both
your
use.
interviews aren't fluff.
No.
Your interviews
Right.
with
That's
the
it.
artists.
That's so interesting because that's
this
just
is a new section of your show.
It
the
is,
Interviews with
yeah.
the artists, and they're quite in-depth interviews.
Yes.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
See,
You
the
get
Walker who
you get
does
stars.
interviews is a different Walker than does the Daily Dirty.
Well, you're doing an interview right now, and I don't find you very serious.
Oh, well, that's good. I don't want to be
He's
too
on the
serious.
other side of the
So
interview.
I guess I'm not such a good
That's,
interviewer.
no, you are. The last thing I want is to be too serious or be someone that takes himself too seriously. My goodness, there's so much of that in the world. I mean, all we need is less. But it is true that it's kind of like two different aspects. Doing the Daily Dirty with you, it's kind of like playing a character. Not that a character it's someone different other than who I am. It is me. It's just an aspect of me that's
It's playtime.
accentuated.
You've got a friend visiting, and you're
Yeah.
playing. Yeah.
Right.
It's an exaggerated.
What it is.
Yeah.
We're playing. We
Right.
go in there and he'll tell me 3 or 4
It's
shows.
not edited at all.
No,
Sometimes
it is edited.
Usually it's live.
Yeah.
Every once in a while we can't do a live show, so we'll have to
Have you
record
ever
it.
gone over the line where you really had to like say, we can't do that
Yes,
one right now?
we did do. I did that once. I crossed the line. I
Did
think,
you?
and
I think we
actually
both
said-
crossed a line at
No, there was a
times.
time that you actually said to me, "This cannot air, and you really have to stop."
And what was
Seriously?
it
I don't remember this.
Yes, that was about. I can't remember.
You don't remember what it was
I
about?
think it was when they did Rutgers University might have done the Beyonce class, and I was so upset by this class that my language wasn't very. And you were like, "You've got to stop! You can't keep. I can't keep bleeping you. It's too much work." And so I think it was.
What's the Beyonce
Well, the
class?
great
What
thing,
is
well, the
that?
great
was
Rutgers
it.
University now offers a Beyonce course.
And is it
On how to be an
teach you how to be a
independent,
singer?
feminine woman. And no, it's to teach you.
Like she's some sort of
be a
icon.
strong woman.
Which some people do believe that she's an icon. I don't know about that. She's great, but I don't know about icon.
It has to be a few more years and
Yeah.
good stuff that she does,
Exactly.
like a lot of charity work
Yeah.
and stuff.
But
I
she does
agree.
have an entire entourage that looks at her, a whole fan base.
yeah, of
Even
course.
mothers like my age that look at
course.
her as if she's the end-all be-all of women, and this is the way we all should act. Then she came out with that song where she's grinding her husband like a surfboard, pardon this on TV.
Yeah,
Right,
the
the,
And
new-
I
the new-
thought-
the new
Partition.
videos are.
She,
Drive it up the partition.
yeah, that one with the Drunk on Love, Drunk in Love.
Yeah, I haven't seen
She
them. but
prides
I
herself
know
on
they're
being this
pretty
classy.
funky. The new videos, pretty funky.
Right, so where
It was
is
cool
that?
though that she did them all undercover and released the album at 11 o'clock at night, and no one saw it.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that was that
That's
was
It
very
was
crazy.
cool,
smart.
but she had a blind side, Taylor
Right.
Swift and all the newbies.
Yeah.
It's true.
What we said on the air about it was, why not, if there's a Beyonce course at Rutgers, then why shouldn't there then be a
Tom Cruise called.
right,
Yeah,
or
how to be a
Pattonville.
stud.
a Justin Bieber class on how not
Right.
to be a douchebag,
it's
or
true.
a Lindsay Lohan class on how to do a lot of cocaine. I mean,
Yeah, how to keep partying and keep saying
Yeah.
you're not.
Right. I just
So-
can't figure out why she has become this feminist icon when, in fact, she promotes the opposite.
in some ways she
Yeah.
does. In some ways
And
she
in
does.
my opinion, I get it. She's a pop star. She does what she does. That's her job. She shouldn't be
And
judged
she
for it.
seems really nice.
She seems
does,
really nice.
yeah.
she's
Definitely not saying
talented.
she
She
doesn't.
is talented.
Very talented. But in my opinion, it's, you got to promote what you got to deliver what you promote.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just,
I hear that. We kind of agree on that.
So, what other, have you ever crossed the line?
Oh yeah, but one of the greatest things about not being live when we are not live is that we can cross the line, catch ourselves, and then either
Fix
bleep
it.
the hell out of it,
Yeah, or just do
or
a new show.
cut it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
yes,
not
the answer
written-
is yes.
It's not written in stone.
I mean, but I think that's
No.
one of the
Right.
things that this show is about crossing the line and being a little
Down-
outrageous.
down and dirty in the
Down and
Daily
dirty.
Dirty.
It's called the Daily
Exactly.
Dirty. And it's also about, I think, being completely ourselves. And sometimes that means a dramatic lack or loss of sophistication and taste and class.
true.
It's tastelessness sometimes. It's just tasteless. And
That.
I love
you know,
tastelessness.
Look at
Joan Rivers.
TV
Yeah.
caters to the lowest common denominator.
Yes.
So you
Right.
you got to
Yeah.
go there to get the masses.
We try to achieve a balance.
And then be the wind underneath their wings. This is Walker.
Is that me?
That's your childhood. Yes, that's how
Oh.
Michael saw you in your
If
childhood.
only it were that happy.
Right.
Did he only have the one pant leg on because
Yeah.
he
Well,
was?
he was trying to decide.
Oh, he was
Poor.
trying to
confused.
decide.
Those were his
Oh, I see.
confusing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's an understatement.
Okay.
Yeah. That doesn't
someone
even begin
behind
to
you?
represent the confusion that I felt as a child.
You knew
Oh
you
my
could
God.
fly. That's
I
the
did
good
know I
thing.
could.
And I believed you could
I can fly.
Yep, there you go. You are a good singer. I've seen you sing at
Thank
the
you.
WBAZ parties and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was
yeah,
gosh, that was a
you
while
get very
ago.
Broadway. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
cool.
miss it. I want to sing more. I
Yeah,
want
you
to do more of
should.
that, you know.
Yeah, I like to sing too.
I think that when you're a born singer, that then it's just part of who you are naturally. And if you don't sing, it's almost like a part of your soul is lying dormant. It's not alive.
And it's so healthy to sing.
It is.
It's really healthy. So do you sing in the shower mostly now?
I do. I'll sing not in the shower, but in my apartment with my cat.
Oh, the cat. The
Yeah.
cat was a big
We
part of
sing
your
together.
show for a while.
That's true.
Have
Well,
you
he
all
comes to
settled
the
down
he comes to
about
the
the cat
studio
now?
sometimes
He does.
with me. Yeah, and I've had to train him to. He's actually very good. He's very well behaved, but like once he jumped up on the board and I was like, "No, you're going to throw us off the air."
No, I have one cat. I'm down to 2 cats now. My daughter brought home every stray as a kid.
Aw.
So we had 5 cats, 3 dogs, a bunny, a horned toad, newts. I mean, you name it. So I have one cat that whenever you're reading, like the East Hampton Star or whatever newspaper you're reading, she has to be on it. And the other cat, whenever I'm in my office, she wants to lie on the keyboard.
Right.
So they always want to kind of be in your stuff, cats. But
Well, did you hear what happened with Buster?
No.
Buster is my cat, and I adopted him from my vet, the East Hampton Vet Clinic, on Good Friend Drive. Fabulous people, I love them. And I adopted him from there, and so we were scheduled a neutering, right? And so I took him back at the right age for neutering, and Dr. Katz called me and she says, we didn't find anything. I said, well, what do you mean? Well,
you didn't have any.
he's definitely a boy, but there's not anything
Wasn't
there.
packing the nuts.
So, no nuts. So, he's either a hermaphrodite or had gender reassignment surgery before I adopted him.
Which is probably the case.
That's probably the case. That's
Because
what I leave it
there's
to Walker.
many a case of transsexual cats.
Oh.
Really? And you make the little
I'm just going to look at you until you know whether... I think it's so perfect.
Bustarella?
That, of course it's my cat that has no balls.
I think there's a cartoon coming here like Barbarella.
I think you're
Bustarella.
onto
Bustarella,
something.
Psychedella.
Bustarella.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a good idea.
So what exciting interviews do you have coming up? I know you're going to have Paula Poundstone is
No,
going to
often
be...
I don't know until right before, but
Oh, really?
Paula
Whoever's in town.
Paula Poundstone's coming to Bay Street, and
She seems so nice. You've met her before, too,
yeah,
right?
gosh, she's been a frequent guest over the years. I think
Nice.
I've interviewed her 4 or 5 times. Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story. She was also in 12 Years a Slave, that won Best Picture. She'll
That
be
was
in one of the
intense, that movie, boy.
yeah.
didn't
She'll
see
be
that
in
movie.
one of the plays at Bay Street. It's called Conviction. And
Cool.
and gosh, we all have to go to Bay Street this summer because they're sort of taking the theater in a new direction with Scott Schwartz, the new artistic
this is gonna
director.
be-
And
this
so
is
I
gonna
think
be
they're doing
very
some
interesting.
exciting original stuff.
Young new blood.
Yes, and that's very exciting. So Sarah Paulson and then Garrett Dillahunt from Raising Hope. and then I'm not sure. You know, they all. I know
it
you
just
never know
happens,
until
yeah, it
until the
happens.
very
Totally
last
does.
minute.
We actually had Chris Allen in the studio
That was fun. Yeah.
a month ago, maybe a little over a month
Yeah.
ago. I was a huge Idol fan when it turns out when he had won American Idol, that was the only Idol I had watched the entire season of. And I wanted him to win. And I remembered he was so cute. And he did this rendition of Apologize with the piano, and it was so severe, and it was deep. And
Apologize, the One Republic.
The One Republic
song.
Apologize.
Okay,
and it was just so moving to me. I don't know why, maybe the time in my life, whenever I saw it, whatever it was. So I'm in the studio and I hear someone singing a song in a studio acoustically, but we have a lot of musicians in there. But I said, I know, that's one of my favorite songs, but I never knew who sang it. How sad is that? Turns out it was Chris Allen singing acoustic for EHM.
Live like we're
Live
dying.
Like You're Dying.
Live like you're dying.
You're gonna live like you're dying. That song. So he's in there acoustically singing it. I'm outside the studio dancing. They all see me. I was just in my gym clothes, running from the gym to go home and shower for an appointment. So it was totally unplanned, had no idea.
And she came into the studio and she said, Chris Allen's in there. I said, that's not Chris Allen. That's someone singing
Yeah,
his
he
song.
totally was like, get out. I don't have
Right.
time for
I
you.
was like,
said,
I don't have time
all
for
right,
this.
okay, I'll see you in a minute. So I go out. He comes outside. I said, oh my God, I love you. Let me get
You
some
have
pictures.
to come back to finish the story because our show is about to end.
It's so fun.
Will you
Thank
come
you for
back
having
and we'll
us.
finish
We
the Chris
will, I would
Allen
love to.
story?
So much
Yeah,
fun.
next
story.
week.
Thank you for having us.
Walker Vreeland, WBAZ, afternoon show, 2 to 6 every day on your radio in the car. And Amy Cerullo, the very, very bad, down and
Bad
dirty
girl.
best friend,
Yeah.
co-host of The Daily Dirty. Anyway, ladies, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week. And remember, give yourself lots of room. Room for love, room for fun, room to grow, and room to glow. Glow like these people.
Bye,
They are so
ladies.
much
Bye.
fun.
Thanks for having us. It was
Oh,
so much
you're
fun.
welcome. It goes
Into the sky.